everyone. I'm Evan, and this is Brandon next to me for The Peel, and we're here with our first vlog for the website, and we're going to talk about Paranormal Activity. Both watched it for the first time last night, late at night, with the lights all out in this very room behind us, and just give you some of our thoughts. So, Brandon, what are your initial thoughts on the movie? What did you think of it?
So I actually wrote a review for this as well, if you check out the site, but I wasn't super thrilled. I thought it was alright. I don't know, I guess I just have a hard time relating. I don't really ascribe to the whole belief in demons and stuff like that. It's just not plausible for me, and I mean, I thought the suspense aspects of it were fantastic, but as far as like the principles behind the movie, it just, I don't know, it didn't do it for me, because it's not what I believe, so it didn't really affect me that much.
Yeah, I think one of the most important parts of the movie for me, and what really got to me, was just the wide lens camera they had in the bedroom. So take like this room, the picture you're looking at, wide lens with the lights out. You have the bedroom, and then you have the door open with, I don't know who sleeps with their bedroom door open, but they do in this movie, and it's terrifying. And anytime that image just comes up on screen, for me immediately, like, your knuckles go white because you're grabbing onto something. You're just like, something's going to come down that hallway. I don't know when it's going to come, but it's going to come. So it's constantly building up the tension, which is really good. For horror movies, I'm definitely, if it's really going to frighten me, I like the suspense, the tension. I don't like a lot of things showing up on screen. I'd rather you just wondering what's behind that corner, and it really did that for me.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about it now you said it. I didn't talk about it in the review I wrote, but they have at the bottom of the camera at all times, they have just like a running time log for what's going on. So when I'd get to that like wide lens shot, I'd just be watching the time to see where it would stop, because otherwise if there's nothing happening, the time just runs, but when it stops, you know something's about to happen. So I'd watch that time, and as soon as it would stop, you'd get like 5 seconds of nothing where you're just being like, what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen. And I thought that was, I mean, it's just a really like clever, like subtle effect, but it was good.
Yeah, now I love the wide camera lens. On the other hand, I thought the acting was pretty dismal overall, especially the girl talking about her childhood and this guy coming after her. If that happened to me when I was 8 years old, I'd be traumatized. I would be crying. I would be curled up in a ball, and no doubt about it.
At the same time, you have to take into consideration, yes, like the acting was abysmal, but they got paid $500 for it, and they responded to a Craigslist ad for the posting. Okay. I mean, it was done so low budget, and I'm sure they were the best people at the Craigslist audition, and that's what you get when you audition for actors at Craigslist.
Okay, you know? I mean, but that still doesn't go beside the point.
I understand. I'm just saying for what it was.
And then just some of the things I think Brandon talked about in our review, just that all these things keep happening, but neither of the I guess they're not husband and wife, but boyfriend and girlfriend call any of their friends, think about calling the police, calling the parents, just running outside the street.
Go outside!
Yeah, definitely.
And they keep saying, like, well, nothing's going to change it, you know? Like, even if you leave here, it's not going to make a difference. Try it out! I mean, like, if I were in a situation where I was sleeping in a bed and a demon dragged me out of my bed, like, through the hallway, I wouldn't be sleeping in the bed anymore, you know? Like, if it's going to attack me in a hotel, then I'm going to go to, it's just, like, get out.
So, obviously, they don't get out. Like Brandon was saying, she wanted them to get out. They don't get out. And in your review, you talked about the ending, which you had a few problems with.
Oh, it's so bad. I laughed. I just outright laughed. It's terrible. I mean, spoiler alert right here. She goes downstairs in the middle of the night and starts screaming for Micah. Micah runs downstairs, and she obviously kills him with a kitchen knife. And then you start hearing footsteps, like the screaming stops, and you hear footsteps up the stairs. And I mean, it's literally the last like 30 seconds of the movie, and you're just sitting there waiting to see what comes up. And all of a sudden, Micah's body is thrown at the camera. She walks over, covered in blood, like smells him, and then smiles at the camera and like attacks it. I just laughed. I was so disappointed. Like, in the original ending, I know Evan read up on it too. The original ending that they had was that she just walks back upstairs after the screaming stops, holding the knife, and she just like rocks in the bed, and you just see the time lapse for 2 days. And then her sister comes in and sees Mega's body, screams, and then there's like, she calls the cops. There's like a scuffle with the cops, and she gets shot, and that's it. That's brilliant. Like, we don't need a big Hollywood ending to like cater to the masses. I mean, it's an indie horror film. I mean, it should have a terrible ending. It was a movie about a girl being haunted by a demon. It was just, oh, it was so disappointing. It killed the whole movie for me. I mean, it was, for the amount of like suspense they built up with just the little that you actually saw on camera was incredible. I mean, it really was so artful. And then to just kill it like that in the end, just Katie's whereabouts still aren't known. Like,
well, I think to play devil's advocate, on one hand, is like I was talking about the tension and everything, and I wanted this payoff. Like, at one point, he climbs up in the attic, and it's like, I just want to see that demon's face, like, staring at him and, like, freak out or whatever. And in those original endings, I think looking at it, I mean, you can call it Hollywood, but there's not that payoff. Like, people just finally want to see, like, this demon. Like, if she slits her throat, it's like, yeah, she killed herself, but we never get to see this entity that we've just been waiting to see clamp. Like, for me at least, it's like, I just want to see whatever it is in a physical form. And like, at the same time, I didn't, because like you said, but on the other way, it's like, I just want to see what this thing is. And that's the one thing that this new ending gives you. It gives you, you see what Katie's become. She's become the physical demon, and you see the power she has, and then you see her basically shift in form as she like comes up to the camera like this. And yes, it's cheesy, but I think they figured people would want that big payoff at the end.
I don't know. I mean, do you make a movie because you're trying to give people what they want? I mean, is that why people make movies?
Well, I mean, that's a whole totally different question. I'm just saying, devil's advocate on Paranormal Activity. That's how I feel there.
And I guess I can understand that. It's just, for it completely and totally changed up the flow of the entire rest of the movie. I mean, for the first 80 minutes of the movie, you don't actually like see anything really happen. Like, you hear noises and then you see the result of those noises. You know, the only thing you see happen really is the door move until Katie gets pulled out of bed by an invisible force. But there's no like physical damage being done. It's all very like behind the scenes, which is awesome, which is why you're just building it up. And that's what made the first 80 minutes of the movie so great. And even up to that last 30 seconds where all you hear are the footsteps being like, the screaming stopped, what is that? And then all of a sudden it's Katie as a demon is smiling, attacking the camera. Like, it's so cheesy. It completely and totally changed. Like, it was just a different movie. And it just, I mean, I just thought that was disappointing. It just didn't, like, flow for me, I guess.
Okay, but like I said, and I'll just say this one more time, you need that release. And if you have that, it's not a release. It's like, and she killed herself. Like, but here it's like, oh, she just blew this guy away. And I'm not saying that movies are meant for that, but there is another side to that, why you would make the ending like that, definitely. I think you do need a release in a movie, and it kind of lets you exhale a little bit. But all in all, what do you guys believe? Brandyn obviously reviewed it in written form for the site. Be sure to pose any questions you want or respond in any way you want in the comments for YouTube or comments on our site, and let us know. And it's our first vlog. We're hopefully going to do some more, and maybe you'll see some of the other writers for the Peel vlogging as well. I don't know. You'll just have to tune in to find out.
Thanks, guys.